Hey guys, this is a repost of what if Naruto Learn the Flying Thunder God Part 4. The old video had some problems with it, so I had to take it down and then repost it. But yeah, this is just the same video, but slightly different with a different intro. But yeah.
Hey guys, it is Anime here, and I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Today this is going to be part 4 of What If Naruto Learned the Flying Thunder God. Part 5 will actually probably be tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but like next Tuesday, and that'll probably be the last part. But yeah, so without further ado, roll the intro. One week later, the Konoha 12 had divided into 3 teams. Team Naruto, the heavy assault and semi-tracking team, was Kiba, Neji, and Lee. Team Sasuke, the semi-assault and reconnaissance team, was Tenten, Shino, and Hinata. Team Shikamaru was the medical and backup team, and it included Sakura, Ino, and Choji. Each team had been training to work on teamwork. They then all met at the Gate of the Leaf and deployed on their mission. Team Naruto went ahead, traveling at extremely high speeds. Team Sasuke was going behind, but slightly slower. Team Shikamaru was going the slowest out of all the squads. Naruto had suggested this so that one team would hit the base really hard, causing confusion. The second team would then capitalize on this confusion, wiping up any resistance. The third and final team would find and seal all the exits. The 2 teams in the base would try and kill Orochimaru. If they were unsuccessful, they'd signal Team Shikamaru to set off the explosive tags. They would then continue to fight until the explosions were close enough. Then Naruto would teleport Team Naruto and Team Sasuke out of the base with the flying Raijin. He'd given them all a tag to attach to their arms so that he could channel Chakra into them so he could teleport that way. After a day of traveling, all the teams stopped at different places. The next morning, Team Naruto arrived at the base. "You better be right behind us, Sasuke," Naruto thought, before his team plunged into the base. 30 minutes later, Team Sasuke arrived. They saw Naruto's note. Sasuke read it and then destroyed it. He then wrote another note for Shikamaru before plunging into the base. 30 minutes later, Team Shikamaru saw the note from Sasuke and the flying Raijin kunai. They then sealed off all the exits and armed the explosive tags. Meanwhile, Team Naruto. As soon as they had gotten into the base, they had killed everyone that was in their way. They threw some smoke bombs into the cell as they were passing by, knocking out all the prisoners. "Sasuke can collect a few prisoners while we're here, so we can study the curse mark," Naruto thought, as they plunged deeper into the base. Neji warned them of all the traps, and Kiba was leading them to Orochimaru. They finally got to a room that Kiba said Orochimaru was in, and they smashed through the door. As soon as they got in, Naruto saw Orochimaru's body, but there was nothing in it. All the organs were gone. Cold laughter emanated from the other side of the room. "Do you like my new body?" Orochimaru said with a sadistic smile on his face. Kabuto appeared to the right of him and got into a fighting stance. "Orochimaru," Naruto said, his voice dripping with venom. "The one and only." The ensuing fight was all in the favor of Orochimaru, even with Naruto using his Storm Cutter, Rasengan, and Chidori. Lee broke one of his legs, Kiba got knocked out, and Neji and Hinata overused their Byakugan and collapsed. "Looks like I win," Orochimaru said, raising a sword above Hinata's head. Naruto's eyes widened. "No!" he screamed and rushed forward. Just as the sword was about to hit Hinata, Orochimaru flicked it upwards, impaling Naruto. Naruto still pushed forward and slapped his seal on Orochimaru's head. Orochimaru then fell backwards, trying to peel it off of him. After a couple of tries, it successfully came off, but when he looked at the piece of paper, it was blank. "It's on your forehead, Lord Orochimaru," Kabuto said, trying to remove it. "It won't come off," Naruto said, dragging Neji and Hinata backwards, still impaled on the sword. Naruto then performed the ram hand sign, and it ripped a piece of paper in half. All around the room, explosive tags started revealing themselves. Orochimaru's eyes widened. There were so many you couldn't see the walls. There was a faint explosion, followed by 3 more, getting louder and louder every time. "I may have used up all my chakra, but it's a good thing I stored some in seals. Holding that seal in your head prevents you from using chakra. So goodbye," Naruto said. After a few seconds, all the explosive tags started burning. Then Team Sasuke and Naruto disappeared in a flash. "Damn," Orochimaru thought, as all the tags went off. Outside the base. Team Shikamaru 2 minutes ago. The paper ripped, Ino shouted, holding up 2 pieces of paper. Alright, Shikamaru said. He pulled out a match and lit the wires in his hand and then dropped them. The flames raced along the edge of them and followed the wires into the ground. The ninja wires only went to the first and second rings of explosive tags. There were 5 rings in total. The first ring was on the outer edge of the base. When this ring was set off, it would create a ring of fire all around the base underground. This would also trap everybody who's inside the base from clearing off all the exits. Then the flames would travel along the ninja wire to the 4th ring. When this ring was set off, it would push everyone who's in the base closer to the center. This is where the ninja wire would end, and it would set off a set of chakra strings which would travel through the base and set off the 3rd ring. The same thing would happen with the 2nd ring, and then the center ring had the highest concentration of paper bombs and would create a huge explosion. Let's go, Shikamaru shouted as his team put some distance between them and the entrance to the base. A huge explosion went off around the center of the base, and they heard someone moaning in pain. Team Sasuke and Naruto had appeared in front of them. Sakura and Ino rushed forward to check on their teammates. Naruto, Ino shouted and rushed towards him. She removed the sword of Kusanagi and was about to bandage the wound when she saw it closing. Look, everybody, she said, as Team Shikamaru rushed forward, as Naruto's fatal wound was closing up. Meanwhile, in Naruto's head. Naruto walked up to the huge cage. Behind the bars was a huge fox. For only 2 minutes, they just stared at each other, as if daring the other to break the gaze. Finally, Kurama said, Here, kid. Take some of my chakra and heal your wound. Why are you helping me? Naruto asked, still staring at the fox. Because you, kid, I can sense your emotions, and you have no ill will towards me. Now go, and we'll talk later. A bit of chakra trailed out of the cage, and Naruto grabbed it and walked out of the mindscape. His personality is almost exactly like yours, Kurama said, seeming to no one. Then a woman with waist-long red hair walked out of the shadows. I know, she said. Back in the real world, with Team Naruto and Sasuke, were rushed back to the village by Team Shikamaru. 2 weeks later, Naruto woke up with a splitting headache. He was heavily bandaged around his head, and especially his abdomen. Where am I? Naruto thought. Orochimaru! He tried to sit up and crawled toward the door, but he failed and fell to the floor with a loud thud. He then started crawling. Memories started coming back about the mission, Orochimaru's new body, Hinata and Neji collapsing. Naruto was only a few feet from the door when it opened. Naruto looked up at the person. His vision was blurry, but he thought they looked like someone he knew. The person dragged him back to the bed. My team, Naruto said, squinting his eyes in pain. They're fine, the person said before knocking him out with a swift chop to the back of the neck. Next time Naruto woke up, there were multiple people in his room. The vision cleared out for a couple of minutes and he saw the Konoha 12, Tsunade, and 2 people with the Byakugan. They didn't seem to notice him until he said, How's everybody doing? Like I said earlier, Tsunade said, everyone's fine. Also, from what I heard, you did an excellent job leading your team in the squad. Also, strategizing, which is something unusual from you. Yeah, it was his idea to have the multi-tiered explosion, even if it was troublesome, Shikamaru added. The group then chatted for a few more minutes before a man, who Naruto assumed was Hinata's father, said, If it's not too much of a problem, I'd like to have a word with Naruto. Everyone nodded and said the same thing about how they had to go anyway. When they had left, Hiyashi moved to the chair next to Naruto's bed. Naruto forced himself to sit up and look Hiyashi straight in the eyes. Lee told me about what happened, about you saving Hinata, Hiyashi stated. Mr. Hiyashi, Naruto started to say, but then Hiyashi cut him off. Naruto, Hiyashi continued. From what I've seen, you are a very compassionate person that will risk life and limb for my daughter. That is what I want for Hinata, but as of right now, my family and the council will not allow it. So I've arranged a couple things. First off, Tsunade is announcing you to Konoha as the heir and clan head of the Uzumaki clan. This will allow me to propose to you a political marriage between clans and a promise of the friendship between our clans in the future. Second, the clan won't allow Hinata to marry someone outside the clan without us placing the caged bird seal on her. The way I circumventilated this is by modifying the caged bird seal into the migrating bird seal. What this does is that it locks Byakugan after death, making them useless. Second, the seal also stops the Byakugan from forming in anyone not from our clans. For example, your descendants have the chance to awaken the Byakugan. However, if one of your descendants marries someone not from my clan, or from your clan, the Byakugan will not form in their eyes. Lastly, the seal just looks like a diamond shape on the person's forehead. Thank you, Mr. Hiyashi, Naruto said as Hiyashi left. Hiyashi nodded and left the room. 1 month later, Naruto was now the head of the Uzumaki clan and was betrothed to Hinata. They would be married when they both turned 18. The civilian side of the council of Konoha had an uproar when they found Naruto was going to be the head of the Uzumaki clan. The shinobi side was impassive. Naruto and Hinata started going out more and more, getting to know each other a lot better. Naruto was training one day when Jiraiya had shown up. "Hey kid, we need to talk." Naruto had then been told about how the Akatsuki and how he would have to be taken to Mount Myoboku to train. 2 weeks later, the Konoha's gate. During the 2 weeks, Naruto had spent as much time with Hinata as possible. She told him she would try and reverse summon to Mount Myoboku every few months to see him. On a quick side note, Jiraiya actually reverse summoned to Mount Myoboku without the Toad Summon contract, so that's how I got Hinata to do it. Anyway, back to the story. "Okay, let's go," Naruto said, walking out of the gates with Jiraiya. He knew he missed the village. But then again, once everything was over with Akatsuki, he wouldn't have anything to worry about.